This is 55 TV, and we are at the Bloody Grey headquarters in a very, very trendy East London. And we're with Jamie, who is the lead of The Irrepressibles, and at the moment he's on a mammoth gig between two sets, or is it three?
It's two, yeah. We've just done a show down at Oxford House, which is just acoustic, and then we're off to Hoxton Bar and Kitchen to do an electronic set tonight.
Now, I have heard your music only very, very recently, literally today, and we saw a video of yours a few months ago. Your stuff is pretty incredible, pretty insanely beautiful, and we literally just saw a video here, the Bloody Grey Officers, and I mean, I've been blown away by what you're doing. You have a 9-piece band that you work with. Talk to me how this is formed, and why is it 9 pieces?
Well, it used to be a 10-piece, and now it's an 8-piece. And with the new album, I wanted to basically put at the back of the setup 2 drummers and have a relationship in both choreography and also in sound and in the way that the parts are created to express this kind of visceral kind of backbone to the music, as I brought in more electronic elements with this new album Nude. But we have a string section. There's a lot of strings arrangements that are more kind of dark, kind of quite David Lynch, I suppose, in style. And you know, great David Lynch. And then certain tracks that are very electronic and I actually sing in Japanese. So we do colour tracks in Japanese, which is really nuts. But yeah, it's a piano and kind of like electric guitar with 50s reverbs and that kind of style. Lots of vocal samples and all sorts of different elements in this new record. Yeah.
With your music and your vision and how you are organising stuff, I mean, how do you see this in your brain on a daily basis? Because it's a big collective and it's a lot of organisation, but you seem to execute it perfectly. Obviously, this doesn't happen just with you because you understand collaboration, but somebody has to drive that bus and has to get people on those seats. How is this in your head from maybe as it started to where you are now?
Well, I just begin by writing music, and then the lyric itself is where the sound world originates from, and then I choreograph at the same time as writing the music, so that the two things are connected and that they express the kind of visceralness of the performer, and then it's just about kind of working and collaborating with people in hair and makeup and styling and designers to create a world that sits with this new sonic vision, if you will, and the lyrics of the songs. So it's quite an organic process. But then we also allow people to remix the tracks, and then they kind of take new forms. And we also, we're doing a competition at the moment where people can choreograph dances to this track Tears, which is a single we've just brought out, and then we're going to bring that together into one mammoth video, just encompassing different dances all over the world, because with the last album we had a lot of people dancing in various styles to the music from the last album, so we wanted to kind of dip into that world, and we just love dance. It's really exciting to us and interesting.
I love dance. I don't dance enough these days. I don't know why.
It's such a perfect expression, isn't it, of your being, and it's like fashion is such a visual expression of how you're feeling and the environment that you're in and the time that you're in, and dance is really visceral. It's kind of, it sits and kind of connects with fashion as well in many respects, and it's interesting. Yeah.
Talk to me about the project that you've split this up into. Is it 3 groups into it's just you, an acoustic, and there's a more electro side to it, which is a secondary part, and then there's the full entourage, isn't there? Talk to me about those separations.
Well, originally I started started the Irrepressibles, and it was more of an art project, and eventually ended up commissioned to create things like the human music box for the V&A Museum and commissions for the Holland Festival, and it was in that world that I was in, was just kind of creating these performance objects that the Irrepressibles appeared inside of us. And at that time it was a big chamber orchestra with strings, and it was all I used to choreograph to create this spectacle. And then with this new record, it was like. It was really interesting, the idea of dissecting the elements that make up the full nude spectacle, as it's called, which is the new album's visual spectacle, and to kind of just do something with just the string section, and show that, because one of the main reasons why was that the new album uses a lot of playing around with these loop pedals, and there's a great artist called Owen Pallett, and he uses these loop pedals with violin, and he creates this wonderful music. And another friend of mine actually who does the same thing with cello, and there's all this wonderful stuff happening with loop pedals with strings. So I was really interested in that, and interested about the idea of extending with the loop into the past, because it literally is, you're extending something into the past. So live, you're looping a string pattern, and then you're extending that into the past. And so it's the idea of, because nude's very much about time and memory, and so the idea of doing that live in performance. So that was interesting enough to just kind of separate that off and just do that. And then with Electro Nude, it was like I'd been asked to do vocals for various different electronic artists that have been released this year. I can't disclose, but I've been doing lots of vocals for different electronic artists. But also just became really fascinated with electronica through doing this opera with Danish company Hotel Performer, this Japanese opera, and I was working with all these electronic elements. So I just thought, well, it'd be interesting to see about performing electronically with just the drums. Just the two drummers and the pianist on electronic keyboards and synths, and doing a set like that.
And where'd you get your influences from? What has driven you early stages to here now?
Well, very early on, I mean, when I was a kid, it was like everything from Mike Oldfield, Tangerine Dream, Queen, David Bowie, and Kate Bush. Yeah. But like now it's I mean, I think as an artist you have to in order to remain focused, you kind of in a way don't listen to a lot of other people's music, and it becomes more about responding to other kind of elements, like the sounds of things I hear around me really influence the music I make, or very often always the emotion I'm feeling, but also just playing with an instrument or playing with sounds and just seeing what that makes. But for me, the creative process is always very much I just sit and I write in one go. So I hear everything and I just do it in one go. So it's not, and then I kind of mould it. But it's all in one. Yeah. Yeah.
You're obviously passionate about what you do. You're obviously passionate about being alive, the community around you, and where do you get time to relax? Or are you not good at relaxing? Do you not take time out of your schedule? Or is this your life, your work, and you need to be doing it all the time?
Yeah, I said in another interview the other day, like I think I've gone through the mirror in the never-ending story. I think I've just like gone through, and there's no way going back really. I don't really rest, but then at the same time, I don't hold the ego of being a performer. So it's very much like me just kind of working, and then becoming a performer as I go on stage. So yeah. Great.
We're going to see you on stage. Yeah. In a very short period of time. This is Irrepressibles. You must check them out. They're absolutely incredible, and your voice is something else. It really is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
55 TV.